Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's a Monday. It's a mugshot Monday. I'm here with my girl, Keisha. We're going to do a quick rundown of what happened on Inmate to Roommate last week. And then we're going to spend all of our time on Love After Lockup. But a quick announcement here, okay? You guys, Wednesday, August 7th is 90-day UK Love is Blind. And Keisha and I are working so much work. We are getting all the episodes ready for you. We have seen it. We are doing the episodes, pre-taping them for you. So on Wednesday, when Love is Blind UK drops, you just come right over to Pink Shade Prime, and the first 4 episodes of the recap will be there to go along with the first 4 episodes. And I think it's great. How about you?
It is so good so far.
So
it's
good.
Moving
so
fast.
Moving
fast. Yeah, but it's good. Yeah.
It's good. It moves fast. The people are just like boom, 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 engaged. And you're like, wait, is that how it was?
I kept saying it to myself. It's like, I don't think this happened as quickly on season 6.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they're ready.
They're ready.
And they come to play.
They got accents and they're ready to use them.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Not us, though, guys. We're not going to be doing it. I mean, every so often it slips out, but we're trying. At least I'm trying not to. Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I can't help it.
We're vibing. We're really vibing. Yeah. A lot of vibing.
Yeah. I think you should do the whole recap in a British accent.
I don't want to alienate our British listeners.
How dare she?
But let us talk about right now. We're going to do a quick recap of Inmate to Roommate episode 9. Isn't that right? Because next week is 10.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got one more episode to go.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So give me a quick recap, Keisha, of what happened on Inmate to Roommate episode 9.
It was so good. So we started off with Veda, Annalisa, and Mark. Okay. So now we're at the point. I know this is crazy. So now we're at the point where Annalisa is trying to break down the door to the bathroom to see what girl Mark has in there. And then it almost turns into like a fight because Mark is in her face, cussing at her. Like they are damn near nose kissing. It was very, very scary and aggressive. And Veda jumped in and he's just like, you're not going to talk to my wife like that. This is crazy.
Well, finally,
you know, he's quick to the slow. Let's just say that. So in the midst of all this going on, some little, as you call it, ratchet white girl kind of scampers out of the restroom. It's like, I got to get out of here. So once Mark collects his hose, they go outside. And you can see he immediately starts to regret what happened. He's just like, I was triggered. I feel bad. You know, he's calmed down. I think he's really thinking about, I just fucked up really badly. So
when he said he was triggered, did he mean he's triggered because he said something about like being in that small space and being in prison? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Which to me, well, you were okay with sharing a small space like last night with 2 other women. That was okay. Yeah. So Annalisa calls her daughter. We have the return of Diaja. She comes over there. They're giving her the play-by-play. And she's like, I told y'all this was going to happen, right? So they all agree it is time for Mark to most definitely go. So Dial's just like, let's go pack his shit. They go in a room, and that's where they see the rope. They see like 6 Motel 6 cards, and they're like, holy shit balls, he's been pimping. Like these are all for whatever this Aurora address is, where in Seattle, it's where like all the pimps and hoes are at. So they're like, he's been pimping. Which I think we kind of figured that in one episode that he was kind of doing that.
It seems like he's definitely doing something shady. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had a very suspicious and weird looking bag of weed in there also. So Diaja happily takes all of his shit. She doesn't put it on the front porch. She goes, that's not where the trash goes. The trash goes right out here on the sidewalk. And she drops his shit from behind her back. So yeah, we'll see what happens next week. So moving on to David and Aaron. So, you know, they've been going back and forth about adding on a new roommate, and Aaron is highly against it. He wants Lavina to move in instead. So David invites Aaron to come out to dinner so they could talk about this. But surprisingly, Lavina comes along with Aaron, which really bugs Remember, I told you you're going to start reusing that word.
Right.
Bugs.
Bugs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bugs David a lot. Like you can see it on his face. He's pissed off, and Lavina can kind of feel the vibes. So again, Aaron is trying to, explain why Lavina needs to be the roommate, da 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 da. And all of a sudden, David goes gangster boo on us. And he's like, why would I want her in the house when you were the one who talked so badly about her your whole first week of home? How she did this, she stole from you, she ruined your life. And Aaron just kind of like puts his head down like, oh shit, she wasn't supposed to know that. So I don't know if it's the same day, later on that day, or the next day. Aaron's outside smoking a cigarette. David pulls up and David's like, you know what? You really want her to live here. I really want this other guy to live here. So here's a compromise. Lavina can live here as long as, I can't remember the guy's name, he moves in as well. That's my compromise. And of course, Aaron, that's not good enough for him because apparently he pays rent there all of a sudden. And he's like, I still don't like that. And David's like, oh, well, so he just walks off. So in the talking head, Aaron's like, I may have to find another place to live, which that's not going to happen.
All for a girl that obviously treated him horribly. You know what I mean?
And they're not even together anymore.
And they're not even together. They're just hooking up. And she's interesting, right? She's got like lockjaw or something. Like when she was talking, she was like talking about like not moving her mouth very much.
Yeah, there's just something odd about her other than, being a meth head previously, but something else. I don't know what it is. She doesn't pass the vibe check. I'll say that. All right. So moving along to Emily and Jason, it opens up. Emily's talking about how Jason's like the most horrible roommate in the world. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. She really, really wants him to help her unclog her kitchen sink, which has been like laying idle with dirty water in it for days. And he's like, I really got to go, but I can help you out real quick. He goes and grabs the bathroom plunger and says, we can use this. And she totally gets the icks. She's like, that's disgusting. We're not doing that. No. And then he draws off with some chick who here's Emily still chasing behind him, just Jason. And the girl's like, oh, what are you, his mom? So whenever he comes back, I'm not sure if it's the same day or the next day, he and Emily are talking, and all of a sudden there's a boom, 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 boom at the door. And Emily's like, I know that's no one for me because no one I know would knock like that. So she's like,
I love when she says that. Nobody I know would ever do that.
Yeah. Right. So he goes to the door and he kind of recognizes this guy. His name is Tyler. He's like, I know of him. Like we hang around some of the same people, but he doesn't know why he's there. And this guy's basically like, why are you talking to my lady? I check her phone. I see there's text messages and phone calls between the two of you. What the fuck's going on? I need you to leave her alone. Why are you doing this, and that? And then all of a sudden, Jason's like, dude, I didn't know she had a boyfriend, just really trying to plead his case. Then Tyler's like, and I know she's here right now. And Jason's like, she's not here. And then Emily comes out. She's like, she's not here. So all of a sudden, a full-blown fight breaks out in her front yard. Like they're literally rolling around in the front yard. And Emily's like, oh my God. So finally,
so embarrassing.
Break up. It is embarrassing, but I would have got my phone out and start recording it though. So the fight breaks up. The guy, I guess he walked there because he like walks off, which was really, really odd. And Emily's like, I'm done. You got to find somewhere else to live. I don't care where you go. You got to go. As he's still following her into the house. So then we have Cindy and Jennifer decide they're going to have a garage sale, which of course, Jennifer does all the work. She does all the cleaning, the organizing, the setting up, while Cindy does absolutely nothing. But she did find them a piggy bank to use for all the money that they're going to make. So there's almost zero advertisement on social media. There's just like garage sale signs, and they make a total of $12 and some change. Good job there.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. I bet they're going to buy that, like spend that on a pack of cigarettes or something like that.
Is that how much cigarettes cost?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Probably. So Jennifer's mom calls her and is like, hey, come over so you can see the boys. So for whatever reason, Jennifer decides to bring Cindy. I really think it was like a security blanket because she was nervous to go over there because apparently her mom's a little bit off. I don't know. So they go over there.
You got to look at it from the mom's point of view.
Yeah. So Jennifer's got 3 boys. I didn't realize that her youngest was only like 3 or 5 months when she went in. So she has like no relationship with this baby. This baby's a year old.
Yeah, that's
So her
rough.
and Cindy are outside. She goes to get the baby, and he acts like he knows Jennifer. They're playing ball with him. They're having a good time. And so when Jennifer takes him back, she's hoping that her older two boys will come out. And apparently the mom was like, well, they don't want to. They've got other stuff going on. And that's all we really hear. And then all of a sudden, Jennifer's mom's like, you got to go. Get off my property. So Jennifer and Cindy leave. And it was kind of a tender moment. And Jennifer's just like, she never eases up on me. Those are my boys. I know she has full custody, but, I really want to see my boys. And Cindy then realized, it's like, maybe I'm a little bit too hard on her. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sad, but
it was very sad.
Do we know if she got the job at the stop and go, stop shop or whatever that's called? We don't know.
It was Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Yes, that was it. And
or something like that.
And then next week, that's it. The show's over, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like there's going to be a showdown in front of Annalisa and Bea's house with the cops and everything.
Oh, I heard him say, I'm going to get the whole hood over here to your house. I was like, okay, that's don't be threatening them. They took you in and you acted crazy.
I wonder, is he back locked up?
I wonder too. Usually the monkeys will let us know when they see an alert about a locked up somebody, but maybe inmate to roommate doesn't get as much, traction as Lalo does.
I haven't seen anything on the Reddit about anyone.
Yeah.
Well, anyone going back to jail. I'll say that.
Yeah. I know you and Kimberly, you keep it up on that Reddit.
We do.
All right, let's go into Love After Lockup Season 5D, Episode 2, or Season 5, Episode 32. And a bunkie wrote us and explained to us why they do that with the 5D or Episode 32. It's because if you sign on for a season of a show, you sign on for one season of a show.
Okay.
Then they split it out into Season 5, A, B, C, D. They only have to pay you for that one season. But they're using
you're talking about the cast members.
Love During, Love After, La Da, 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 Da. But they've only paid you for one season because they're calling everything Season 5. So the reason that they do that with the seasons is because they pay them for one season and then they can splice it up and use that however they want. So as long as they're saying Season 5, and let's just say, for example, Shonta and True.
Okay.
So they've paid them for one season, but they can drag this out as long as they continue to call it Season 5. They can use them for that season, this season, whatever, as long as they don't change it to Season 6.
Because then they have to pay them
for another season. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's real cheap of Matt Sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what the person wrote and was like, that's why they do that. That's why sometimes you'll see season, 1B or whatever, or they'll say to be continued and it'll be, they'll say it's the same season, although it's half a new cast. So Zeruiah and Troy, if they have them again on Life After Lockup, they'll probably call that Life After Lockup Season 5E because it's 5D.
Now, how did this bunkie find this out?
She works in some sort of reality TV programming.
Oh, okay. Tell her I said hook me up.
I mean, really, you guys, Keisha needs to be on a show. All right, so why don't we start? We will start with Zeruiah and Troy, and we're going to have to once again.
Hear ye, hear ye. Wig Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Keisha presiding.
All right. Wig Court is now in session. You and your wigs may now be seated.
All right, Wig Court's in session because we got Zeruiah and Troy. And somebody wrote last week and was like, duh, she's just got the high pony, da 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 da. I was like, we understand what she's trying to do.
We know. Yeah, we just don't understand why she's doing it.
And also, it's not working. It's not working.
No, not at all.
So she's still at her spiritual leader, Latrice. And Latrice is doing the spirit guys, tell me what it is. And boom. And she drops the cards. And she doesn't like what she hears. There's this other person and there's going to be maybe a cheating. So maybe his baby mama, of which we know nothing about, is coming back in the picture. And she goes outside and she says, I'm really worried about the reading that I got. And she's crying. But Troy calls and was like, hey, can you believe it? I'm almost out. And he goes, how was your reading? And she was like, It was good.
It's good, but I'm not going to listen to anything that she told me.
Yeah. And he goes, I'm going to be out tomorrow at like 8:45 a.m. and she can't wait. He's like, I really appreciate you. Like we did it. In the summer, you find yourself spending a lot more on eating out and takeout. And that's okay because it happens to the best of us. But with Home Chef, you can save time and money while still getting that dining out feeling. Summer is like so busy, you guys. We have travel. We have various commitments. In my case, I'm recording all these extra episodes. Plus, I'm getting ready to take my son for school. It's crazy. I don't have extra time for the grocery shopping. I don't have extra time to do anything, especially to be standing in the kitchen, like coming up with recipes and stuff like that. So I've been letting Home Chef do the heavy lifting for me so I get to enjoy being out in this beautiful weather or in my podcast studio, and then I can eat a quick and delicious meal. And I have tried every meal kit delivery service there is, and let's be honest, because there's tons. It's like dating. You never know what you're going to get, but hopefully it's something tasty. So, Home Chef provides the fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes, convenient delivered to your doorstep, which is the best part. When I see that box arrive, I'm like, somebody run to the porch and get it right now and pop it in the fridge. I prefer the classic meal kits, but they also have some microwave meals that can assemble in minutes. And they have over 30 options a week, and they serve a variety of dietary needs. So you don't have to worry about what to make ahead of time and if it's going to be gluten-free or vegan or whatever you need. Not only is it convenient, but of course it's economical too. Home Chef customers save an average of $86 a month on groceries. That's a lot of money. So listen, for a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 18 free meals plus free dessert for life. And of course, free shipping on your first box. Going to go to homechef.com/pinkshade. That's homechef.com/pinkshade for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/pinkshade. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert. Now it's the morning of the release. She's getting herself and her wig and her money bouquet ready. Now we meet her brother, whose name is Zecarjah.
It was Zeruaih.
Yeah, but it's spelled Zecarjah.
Yeah, I mean,
Zeruaih.
Families like to add a little extra razzle dazzle onto the Z names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't have a Z name and just spell it like,
So, Zeruaih arrives and says, Mom and Dad are downstairs waiting. And Mom has this purple hair and like a head wrap on. She looks like Marge Simpson.
She does. And I don't know if you remember, I told you, I said, every time we see this woman, she's going to have on different frames. And here we are, episode 2, different frames. But I have to say that her parents dress super sharp, though. They're just very flashy, like real flashy. Like I have to wonder, they're giving me mega church vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're not in a mega church. Like they're making some extra cash somewhere. Like,
I
don't know.
They are like that Instagram account, Preachers and Sneakers. The parents are, the dad's name. Now, I thought the dad's name was going to be like Zionista.
No, they have normal names.
But it was Henry. Dad is Henry.
Yeah.
And the mom is Jahnjae, Jahnjae. Okay. So we got Henry, Jahnjae, Zeruaih, Zion, and Zeruaih.
Who he looks like this is the happiest day of his fucking life. He cannot stop smiling. He's like, I am digging this. This is maybe my one moment. I am happy. I will do whatever you say do and keep a smile on my face. Like he's excited about this.
He was excited. You're right.
Yeah.
So Zeruaih tells us that last night she had a spiritual bath. And now she feels refreshed and renewed. Now, what does that mean?
A spiritual bath can be as simple as a bath with some oils and you're surrounded by your crystals, your candles, certain kinds of music. I mean, it's really as simple as that.
Okay, I've never heard of such.
Spiritual bath.
She's refreshed. She's renewed.
I just have to wonder why she decided to go dressed like a pickle to pick up her husband. What was with that choice in a green bodysuit? Really? And her dad calls her up. I see you in your green bodysuit.
Well, Dad's got a sense of style, I think. Don't you?
He's flashy. Yes, he most definitely is.
So Troy calls her. It was like, I'm so excited. I'm waiting. I'm ready. And then in her talking head, she's like, I'm so desperate for his touch, and him being outside with me will be a true test. And I love him with all my heart, but I have to wonder if it's jail talk. Well, then you shouldn't have married him.
Yeah. You know what? This is like one of the rare times that we actually hear someone admit that there's a such thing as jail talk, or as I call it, prison poetry. She needs to be thinking about that, especially the way that they both were some sneaky links, the way that they even got together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, if you weren't sure of that, number one, you shouldn't have married him. And number two, you should not have had him adopt your child from prison.
That one I can not get over. We've never had that done before.
No. Awful. Mm-mm. Awful. So, all right. So they drive up to the jail, and all of a sudden she gets a text, and it says from the parole officer to her. It says, my boss is having me and another parole officer pick Troy up, and he should have been notified by the jail. So Troy calls and he says, parole just told me they're coming to pick me up. But I told them, like, my family's waiting outside. I'm really upset. I don't have any warrants. I don't have any holds. Like, there's no reason this should be happening. So then they drive to another place, and they walk up to where they're putting Troy in the car with this parole officer. And then it's like a high-speed chase to the next place.
Yeah.
And Zeruaih is like nonstop powdering her face. She's powdering. The whole she takes a break, starts powdering. So
she may put a little bit too much powder on that face.
It did seem a little cakey. Yeah.
It did. Mm-hmm. But her brother's still smiling, high speed chasing all. He's like, this is my time to shine. Dominic Toretto may see me and I may become part of the Fast and the Furious crew. I mean, he's just happy.
He is. He's having fun. So it's mom and dad's car. It's Zeruaih and the Kaya and the parole officer car. They're all following each other. And so they arrive somewhere. We're not sure where.
Yeah.
And they wait for Troy. Is it like another, I don't know. Was it like the county jail?
I assumed it was like the probation office inside of like a courthouse or something like that. But number one, when the probation officer texts her, why did he not give her an explanation? Number one.
Right. Yeah.
And then number two, why was he driving so fast?
Right. Yeah.
It was very weird. And why did they have to send two probation officers?
I don't know. None of it makes sense. So Zeruaih says, he's already done his 7 years in prison. Like, he paid his debt to society. Why are we waiting here? What is going on? We're halfway through the day. He hasn't even been able to have lunch. And the talking head, she says, I've been waiting, and mentally I've been incarcerated. Okay, girl.
Okay. You're being a little bit dramatic right there. And you know what? I would love to know what her spiritual advisor told her when she said something about letting this guy, Troy, adopt her son.
I bet she probably didn't tell her that. She kept that to herself.
Because she sounds crazy.
Because it does sound crazy, yes. Okay, now let's go on to Kim and Joey. So we remember at the end of last episode, Joey called and said, some girl got in touch with me and told me that you were hugging up on a tall, light-skinned dude. And she's like, what? And she said, who even was this person? He says, I don't know. They just said they were like my guardian angel, like a special friend. And she goes, well, let me think. She said, before Thanksgiving, I went out with my friend Josh. And I was hugging him in a picture. Like, how else do you take a picture with somebody?
Right.
And we see a picture with her and this guy, Josh, who is a big light-skinned guy. And another
there was
person.
a kid in the picture too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, blurred out. And she says, now for anybody to get in touch with you, they have to have your inmate number. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, maybe it's your ex-husband. And she goes, maybe it's your ex.
Right. And he kind of told on himself with that one, because she's like, well, how did they get your inmate number to even send you a message? Who you've been talking to?
Right. And she goes, maybe it's your ex. And then we're reminded in 2018 that his ex is the one who split them up by sending her messages and telling her things. And she says, I don't have any idea who's sending those messages to him, but likely it is his ex. She's always starting some shit. Okay.
I mean, they've been broken up a long time, unless he's still been talking to her. Why does she even care?
I don't know. Kim calls her friend Jennifer, who we met before, and she said, listen to this shit. And she goes, but it has to be one of our exes that did this. I mean, this is next level. And Jennifer goes, yeah, once again, bad idea. Now, Kim goes to see her cousin, whose name is Tatum, at her nail spa, which is called Tatum's Toes. Now, I've got other suggestions for name of that place. I think she could say Nails by Tatum. Okay. She could say Eden's Nails, Nails of Eden.
Okay.
But Tatum's Toes is real bad. Real bad.
I even went, you may not like this one. I was going to say Tips and Toes by Tatum.
Okay. Better.
I just, there's just something so off about Tatum's Toes, because it sounds like you're talking about Tatum's toes. Not that Tatum does toes, but Tatum's toes.
It just feels like it's too specific to pedicures when she also does manicures.
Nails, yeah.
And the name Tatum is already kind of funny. And so when you say Tatum's Toes, it sounds like Tater's Toes, like tater tots.
Yeah, but I mean, they live in such a small town where we're discovering everyone sleeps with everyone and does drugs with everyone. So I think it just kind of fits.
All right. Toes by Tatum would even be better.
Be better. Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tatum's Toes just...
That's not it.
No.
Not it.
Nope.
So Tatum says, how's it going with Kenny? You going through a divorce with Kenny? And she says, yeah, we are still going through that divorce. And, in North Carolina, which is the same in Virginia, you have to be officially not living together for 1 year before you can file for divorce. So they're coming up on 9 months.
I'd never heard that before until on Real Housewives of Potomac, when Ashley was getting a divorce. And she was like, yeah, we have to be living separately for 1 whole year before we can get a divorce. I'd never heard that before.
It's a thing. I don't know if it's definitely a thing in Virginia. So then Kim says, well, Kenny doesn't approve because I've got a new boyfriend. And you remember Joey? And Tatum says, I'm completely shocked and kind of mad. Mm-hmm. And we find out Tatum also dated Joey for a year when she was 15. And yes, he did pop her cherry.
I mean,
that's her cousin. That's her cousin.
I think the fact that it happened when she was 15 was not reason enough for her to be mad.
Agree.
That's a very long time ago. And I also feel like we didn't need to know all that about,
No, we didn't.
Flowering her at all. But this is from Tatum's Toes. So, what else can we expect?
And they are 38 years old. So, I mean.
That was
it's a long time ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then she says, I did. And then she goes, oh, you liked him forever? She goes, I always liked Joey. And she goes, did you even like him back when I was dating him? And she goes, yeah, like he cheated on you with me back then. And she goes, what? She goes, yeah, at so-and-so's basement or whatever. And then Tatum goes, yeah, okay. So he cheated on me with a lot of people when we were 15. So
15 years old. Yeah.
Why do you think he won't cheat on you? And are you really in love with him, with Joey? And are you getting married? And she's like, yeah, I am. And we are. And she said, well, what did he do to go back to prison this time? And she goes, well, I don't even know. I think it was like, what'd she say? Identity theft. I don't know. And Tatum goes, you need to keep in your head, Kim. He can go back to doing bad things.
And he probably will.
And he probably will. He doesn't have a great track record.
No, he doesn't at all.
And Tatum says, here's what's going to happen. He's going to come out. He's going to do Christmas with her kids, steal all her shit, break her heart, and bounce. And she goes, I give it a 15% chance of working out. So it's like, whoa.
Okay, we've dwindled down. I mean, last week it was 40% from Jennifer. Now it's gone. And I'm going to go with Tatum because she actually did date this person. I mean, she said 15%.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really low. Really low.
Yeah, he must be a real piece of shit.
I mean, when she said, "So you're going to marry him, Joey?" Like, I
I
mean,
know. Like loser Joey. I'm sure
like,
everyone in
yeah,
that town knows that he's a loser.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What did he
And
do?
Kim will
What did
probably
he
get
do to?
pregnant from him.
Yeah, yes. God,
She seems like the type.
yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
you guys know
Sad.
I'm always telling you about Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I love it. There's one right down the street. We go constantly. You know, they've got these new summer mocktails, and I really, really love those. I love the mango berry Cosmo. I add some coconut to that. Oh, it's so good. But I want to tell you about some other stuff they have. They have a turkey bacon ranch sandwich that is delicious. For a kid's meal, they have like a turkey cheddar wrap. You can get some baked lays and a little cookie. My favorite on the kids menu is the little limeberry. That's if you just want a little smoothie. You don't want the whole thing. You guys, they have the acai bowls. They also have delicious breakfast. They have a Southwest wrap. They have an all-American breakfast wrap. And, you know, for smoothies, they have those green smoothies. So if you're into that, they have that. My son's favorite smoothie is the kiwi quencher. You guys, I'm doing this off the top of my head because we order there so much. Like I said, the little limeberry I like, but I do love these new mocktails. The mocktails are only for a limited time. They have a mojito, and like I said, they have the berry Cosmo. That's my favorite. And again, don't sleep on the breakfast. Get it? Don't sleep on the breakfast. Really, the breakfast wraps are delish as well. So, you guys, go to Tropical Smoothie. Try out all these things. You don't just have to try the mocktails. You don't just have to try the bowls or the wraps. Try everything. Go 3-4 times a week. Find out what you like. See what your main order always is. We're again going with that berry Cosmo mocktail because it's a limited time. Again, the little limeberry, the kiwi quencher, the acai bowls, the breakfast. You guys, all of it. Tropical Smoothie. You're on Tropic Time now. Let's move on to Hope and Arthur, your favorite
I
name of all
can't. I
time.
can't. I can't.
Um, Arthur and his sign of the beast tattoo on his forehead.
Okay. You call it the sign of the beast. I've been calling it a food pyramid on his forehead.
Amy
That
Archer
is
says
so
it's a
stupid.
no, she says it's the Illuminati sign.
That's funny. It's just, I
It's
don't know.
we've seen some
It-
bad tattoos.
We have, and we've seen some forehead tattoos. I think the fact that it's just a damn triangle just really does something to all of us. It really frosts my cookies a lot that it's a triangle.
And we've seen other people that have had like their state, like Idaho on the side of their head or somebody's name under their eye.
Yeah.
We've seen some bad shit, but just that.
Who is that one guy that had like the drip right by his lip that we weren't sure if that was like I killed someone or sucked someone off. We couldn't figure it out.
I think it's the second one. The second one, yeah. I think they held him down and did that to him, and he was somebody's bitch. That's what I think. That's what I think. He was the one that would go, but it'd be like, "Yeah, I got to get out of here." You dab on it. He was always dabbing on it because he was.
Yeah, and he tried to sing too.
Okay, so Arthur and his devil tattoo drive up, and his mom, Vanetta, and his girlfriend, Hope, are waiting, and they both hug him. And Hope and Arthur hug, and mom is looking at him and goes, "Oh my gosh, Arthur, you got gray hairs now and everything." And he's only 29, but he's seen some shit. And Arthur says, "It feels good to be free, but I still feel restricted because I've just been restricted for so long. It feels different." And he tells us he's been in and out of prison for 10 years. Started when he was really young. He tried to rebel. And when he was 14 is when it started, when he started stealing shit. But when he was 18, he first went to jail for robbing people. But miraculously, Keisha, he's no longer tempted by the streets.
Well, so he also explained one of the robberies, which was very confusing to me.
Okay. Go ahead.
He said that he went to exchange some things with a guy. So I'm assuming that was a drug transaction, right?
Right. Yeah.
But then he robbed the guy.
And
then he got arrested. So you have a drug dealer calling the police to report that another drug dealer just robbed you, and they don't both get arrested?
Well, number one, I don't think he said it was drugs, but I feel like he intimated that it was drugs.
Yeah, that's what I got from it.
So even
or maybe it was stolen property.
either way, it could have been like a stolen car, a stolen gun.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an anonymous tip. I don't know.
That shit was funny to me. I was like, wait a minute. So, okay. All right.
Well, luckily he tells us he's no longer tempted by the streets. So thank God.
Well, we know that's a lie.
Because we know he's already back in jail.
We know he's back in jail. After the first episode, this was like the fastest person to go back to jail. Yeah. That I can remember. Yeah.
And he says, my mom coming here to get me gives me a good feeling. I'm hoping she will be able to coexist with me and Hope. And so they're going to go out and meet for a meal. And so mom is driving in her car. We find out it's a rental car because like she lives in Dallas and she like flew to Vegas.
No, she lives in Vegas and flew to Dallas.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Right. Gotcha.
He's feeling hopeful and we're just sitting back and hoping his mom just keeps on the hat.
Yeah. Because she takes it off later. And we're like, not so fast, Vanetta. Not so fast, because you know what will happen if you do it. We got to go.
With that gavel.
Vanetta, don't make us call. Don't make us call. All right. So I'm going to really have way too much fun with that. Okay. So she's showing him how to get into the truck, the bed of the truck. She's showing him how to get in. And she's like, look at this, baby. Here's our home on wheels. And he's like, thank you, baby. It's just a big mattress in the back.
Yeah. We keep talking about, what is the mom's name? Vanetta?
Uh-huh.
Well, what the fuck is going on with Hope's real hair? Do you remember Bozo the Clown that had that dry orange? Yes. That is what her hair looks like.
Listen. It's pink. She likes it. It's not cute. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
It's just the dryness of it. She needs some of that mixed chicks curl activator stuff in her hair or something. It's bad.
She seems like she was last episode in that hotel room. Seems like she was really scrunching some product into it.
But it wasn't the right products.
Listen, I don't know. So, all right, so they're in the truck, and he tells us, I like Hope because she's thick and has freckles, and she's a beautiful person. And we were only together in the outside world very briefly, only like a month. So we got to relearn each other. And yeah, Hope is the one I want to spend my whole life with. All right.
Wow. Okay.
So they go to a place called Three Sisters Kitchen, which is attached to a gas station, which that means it's going to be good.
Always. It is always going to be good food if it's attached. Yes. I mean, it just is.
It just is. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about, what we should order? We love chicken wings. And she's like, oh, yeah, I got to get him some good hot food and nourish him back to life. And then she says, I know he's just been waiting to rip my clothes off, but we got to eat first. So they order fried pork chops, fried chicken, greens, yams, and mac and cheese.
Yum.
All sounds good. Mom Vanetta says, I'm only here for a couple of days in Dallas to be with you, and then I'm going to have to go home alone. Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, Mom, you're not alone because my brothers and sisters are there. And he's like, it's crazy. Like, I have my wife and I have my mother here. And she goes, maybe all this is going to hit you when you wake up in that truck.
Yeah. So, like, does Hope live in the truck, or does she have like an apartment?
It's like, does she live in that truck full time?
Yeah. Like, does Hope live in there full time, or does she have an apartment somewhere else? Like, I guess as the episodes go on, if they're still living in the truck, that's just her. Wait, how do you parole to a truck?
Right. That's a great question.
Yeah,
that is a great question. Yeah, she's got to have a home base, right?
She's got to have a home base.
Yeah,
I hope.
Where else is she going to store her dresses from Temu?
In a glove compartment, because
it's so funny. And Vanetta says he just got out of a cell, and getting in that truck is like being in another cell. And she, in her talking head, Hope says, you know what? Yeah, I am a motherfucking truck driver, but I'm the only one that's been supporting him. And Mom's goes, he could just come home with me. And Hope says, where were all of you when visitation happened? Did any of you come and visit? And she says and he says it was just Hope. His family was not consistent. And now here's where I felt for Vanetta, because she said with him, She said, look at him. First of all, he's got a tattoo in the middle of his fucking forehead. Number one.
Let's start there.
Let's start there. Look at him. Does he look like he makes good choices? And she says, it's been a long road with him. And I have been there from the beginning. And maybe I did fall back a bit, but I did put money on his books. But I also had to maintain my house and pay for my other children.
Yeah.
And she tells him, she says, Troy, nobody forgot about you. And we always got excited when you got home. But then you went back again every time.
Yeah. And including this time.
And including this time. And he gets up and hugs her. And she says, I wasn't done raising you when you went away. It's really sad.
Man, that's
really sad.
Yeah. Yep.
And he said,
Hope's are like rolling her eyes.
I know. Shut up, Hope.
She's such a bitch.
And the Talking Dead, he says, everybody knows I'm a mama's boy. I've always has been. I'm the only one of my siblings that has a different dad. And I can see the stress I put her under. And that's terrible. Well, then why are you back?
Then stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
He obviously should have gone back to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And he easily got a job at a casino.
I mean,
or on Fairmount Street? He could have got a job out there. Yeah.
Fremont Street. Yes, he definitely could have got, from what I saw, Fremont Street. That would be,
Mm-hmm.
So mom tries to talk and says to Hope, she says, you think that he just has to go along with everything because you're paying for it. Mm-hmm. And she goes, and then she says, to Troy, she goes, I feel like you're just going with
Arthur.
What did I say, Troy? Sorry.
Twice.
Arthur. Sorry, his name is Arthur. It's hard for me to say it. Arthur. And she says to Hope, to Arthur about Hope, she says, I feel like you're just going along with her because you feel like you owe her something, but you don't. You don't. And he's like, no, that's not it at all. And then
what is it?
It's that good P word.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
All right,
he likes it. In the Talking Head, Vanetta says, I've never seen him take up for somebody before. And I need to get him alone to figure out, why does he owe her for this loyalty?
Right.
And I don't think Hope's going to be loyal to him. I don't, because she's proven that she's not.
Exactly. And I know we're going to hear about it. There's no way we're not going to hear about another guy. There's no way she was faithful the whole time.
No. And by the way, he's already back, so she probably already got a new guy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our new couple. And this is Julian and Christine, who's just going to be known herefore too as Meth Mouth. Because what I wrote Matt Marr last night and said, have you watched this episode? I am dying at this woman and her. Yeah. She is tweaking.
Yeah. I tried to take up for her and say maybe like her jaw was dislocated. Someone wrote me and said that she had Parkinson's, and I'm like, I don't know.
No.
But it all has to do with the drugs. And that was confirmed when she got out. I was like, oh no, it's just all drugs. No.
Yeah. It's bad. It is bad. Yeah. And Julian, bless your heart. You deserve better. So it's one day until release, and we see this guy, Julian. He's in Annapolis, Maryland, which is my neck of the woods, and he's shopping for cat leashes. And then he finds a cat backpack, which is like got a little clear thing so the cat can get in, but it could see out. And he tells us he's a writer.
Seen that for a cat.
Never seen that?
I've seen that for like a bird.
Oh, well, that's even weirder.
Yeah, you've not seen people with that backpack for like their birds go places with them. I just feel like that's not enough room for a cat.
Yeah, it had holes at the top. I don't know.
I'm fascinated.
Yeah, and he tells us he's a writer and he's also a marketing strategist for an ad agency. So he's got a good job. He's 46 years old. He's currently writing a novel about someone on death row. So he first reached out to Christine for his research to find out like some jail terms. And it was crazy because the friendship became a romance. She tells us, look, he wrote me and I was like, I'm just going to get this guy. And all you got to do is say you made out with your roommate and then you got him on the hook. But which I was like, that's hilarious. And he wrote me back super cold and said, I'm not into that. I'm just trying to be friends. And I don't want to hear about your exploits.
Wow. No juju.
No, look at that.
Yeah.
So Christine is in prison for unarmed bank robbery. She's from West Virginia, and we see some news clips of her
Yeah.
robbing banks. Um, she owes about $10,000 to the banks. She only admitted to robbing 3 banks, but turns out it was really 4. And they spent a week together when she was out. But she went back to prison. She got pulled over and they found out she had not checked in with her PO. And when that happened, he got all the stuff from her house, including her cat. Okay.
There's 2 cats.
Oh, there's 2
There's
cats?
2 cats. But Chucky is the one who I guess this is the tamest and wanted to be on camera. The other one said, "Let me talk to my manager about this. I don't like the contract." But okay. Chucky was off. Chucky, this is fascinating. I'm fascinated about people and their cats. Like this cat was in a car.
Yeah, it was. He was just walking around in the car.
Do you know what my cat? First of all, if I tried to put my cat in that backpack, he would fuck me up. Number one. If I tried to put my cat in a car, he would be behind the wheel with a do-rag on, smoking a fucking cigarette with this, saying we're going to Chick-fil-A. So I'm like fascinated by this cat's good behavior. Like, how did you get your cat to act this way? Because it doesn't go down like that here.
I've never seen a cat just willingly be in a car and be like, "What's up? I'm just going to sit in the front seat. Buckle your seatbelts. Let's go." Safety first.
I'm totally intrigued. Yeah, this is something. I like the storyline with the cat.
So we find out that she's atheist, but he grew up Pentecostal, very, very different. And she says, I think it's going to be. He says he thinks it's going to be a smooth transition, but he expects a rough ride. No, she says he thinks it'll be a smooth transition, but I think it's going to be a rough ride. And so they're like, "I love you." She's rough. She's rough. All right.
Yeah.
She's rough. All right. Now we see his nerdy stuff that he's got for her and the cat. He's got her like a banner and whatever.
Yeah.
Then he talks about, he's 48 years old, talking about how he hasn't had a lot of experience with women. He says, "My body count is 3. My high school girlfriend, my ex-wife, and Chris." Okay, well, I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, he was married for a length of time,
You got to be careful when you say body count, because I'm like, wait a minute.
No, this is Julian now, not Christine.
Yes. She probably has a different kind of body count.
Yeah, she probably does. So Julian puts the cat, Chucky Bonkers, into the clear backpack, and he says, she may have her past and her mistakes, but she is an amazing person. And, she's not in prison right now for the robbery. She's in for that parole violation. And I don't know. She may have failed a few drug screens. I mean, could have been pot. I don't know. I mean, she is not telling him the truth. It definitely wasn't pot.
No, it was not. Well, has he seen her? I mean, he has. Like, your mouth doesn't get like that from pot.
It's wild. And he says she's at Camp Cupcake, which is Alderson Federal Prison in West Virginia. It's where Martha Stewart went. It's a very minimum security. And I wonder if that's because her crimes were federal, because she was robbing banks, and that's a federal crime. And so you get to go to a cushier prison, Alderson Federal Prison, because that's Martha Stewart had federal crimes as well.
Right. Someone will tell us.
Yeah. So Chris is totally sober now, and he does not believe she will fail again. Well, both of those things are wrong. She is not sober.
She didn't look sober at all.
No. Y'all, summer is here, and your wardrobe needs an upgrade, right? Instead of those flimsy, fast fashion hauls, spend your money wisely on high-quality essentials that will last beyond the season. Quince is my spot for quiet luxury without paying those luxury prices. You guys, I've been telling you about Quince for like a year. I'm obsessed with it. I'm at the beach this week, and I have the cutest linen dress that I got from Quince. It has little pin tucks in the front with little buttons, and of course, it has pockets. You guys, I don't even want to say this, but it's true. Last week when I had to go to a funeral, I had a dress in my closet that I bought, just a black silk dress, long sleeves. It was perfect, and it was perfect for a funeral. It'll be perfect for another nice occasion. But you guys, what if I didn't have that in my closet? I would not have had the perfect dress to wear. I bought it because I was like, one day I might need a little black dress to go something dressy, and I did. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous, even though it was a bad occasion. It was gorgeous. It was silk. It was fantastic. You guys know I just got a suitcase from Quince, and I've been eyeballing some of their 14 karat gold jewelry. You know, their prices are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. I've told you about the little chart they have at the bottom where you can see, you know, what's what other brands cost. You gotta do it. And if you're wondering how they do it, they partner directly with top factories. They cut out the cost of the middleman, and they pass those savings on to you. So upgrade your closet this summer with Quince. Right now, go to quince.com/pinkshade to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's QUINCE.com/pinkshade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pinkshade. And when they ask, where'd you hear? You say, Pink Shade sent me. Oh, so then the producer says, are you nervous about what she's going to look like? Which makes me wonder, what's she going to look like? Why did he say that?
I don't know. And did he not visit her this time around when she was on lockdown?
I don't know. I mean, Alderson in West Virginia is not that far from Annapolis, Maryland. They're really close, actually. I mean, a couple of hours.
So he should know what she looks like.
Right. So she comes out of prison in a gray t-shirt and pants, and he grabs her and she jumps on top of him and like lays on top of him in the grass, and they hug and they kiss.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I love you. It's real. You're real. She hugs him and says, oh, he's my knight in shining armor. And then I wrote, how's this girl had a stroke? What the fuck is up with her meth mouth?
I mean,
because at first she was doing it only on one side, but then it switched to the other side. It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
We're going to be in hell for 5 minutes for making fun of this woman's jaw. If she really has like some kind of condition, it has nothing to do with meth.
Okay, well, we'll find out next week. But her eyes are bugged the fuck out of her head, and her jaw is working.
And she can't shut the fuck up. Like she's like a wiggle worm. She's constantly moving, kissing him, talking. She's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he brings out Chucky Bonkers in his royal outfit. Oh, and she's like, oh my God.
That was so cute.
And she's like, I've got you and I've got the kitty. If only Roscoe were here. Is Roscoe the other kitty?
Cat. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the cat that wouldn't sign the contract.
Yes.
That cat does not behave in the car. No.
Oh, absolutely not. No. He's at the house acting like a cat. Yeah. Like an asshole. Because that's what they act like.
So then we see her in her talking head talking to her producer where she's got on makeup and a nice outfit, but her mouth and her eyes are still doing the same thing.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for a lot of reasons. I think she needs to go get an MRI. I think she needs to go. What is wrong with it? What is up with her? Like, this is bad.
Yeah, it's bad. So she says she was dating somebody. So she started getting in trouble with the law in 1986. Okay. It's the year before I graduated high school. That's probably about the year you were born or something. I mean, it's like
79.
Okay.
But
1986.
I thought she said 96.
Oh, I thought she said 86. Hold on.
I think she said 96.
Roll the tape. She's only 38. So that would, that's
it had to be 96.
It had to be 96. I think I was so distracted by her mouth hole that I could not.
Of course. I'm sure you were.
Look at anything else. She was dating someone who got her on the needle. And she was shoplifting and doing other crimes. So she searched how to rob a bank and found out if you weren't armed, it wouldn't be as bad. So she says, I just got an envelope and wrote, put all your 50s and 20s in this envelope. And voila, 2 months later, I came to realize they're not coming to get me. So I just did it again. And I walked into another bank and I robbed that one too. And at that point, it was a free for all. And she says now she's ready for this next chapter in her life with Julian. And she just wants all her chapters to be with Julian. And we're going to write a book together. And I want to marry him. And I hope he wants to marry me too. But
he probably already has a ring picked out. Like he seems like the type. He's got a ring somewhere already in the house.
He needs to Google symptoms of somebody on meth. Because that's number one. Okay. That's number one.
he needs to Google how to deal with a crazy person because she seems fucking crazy.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's, I think we're going to be finishing up here. Yes, finishing up with Shonta and True. True is very good looking. I'm just going to put that out there for the world.
Ugh.
I find him attractive.
You do?
I do. I
What
don't like it.
part?
His face is real cute, I think. He's got a real cute face.
Really?
I don't like his buffed out body because that's just not for me.
It's
but I think
it's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. So, he's 1 hour out of prison. He says, I'm still processing this. You know, I'm in the car. I got no handcuffs. I really want to take a bath. I want you to get in it with me. And she was like, what? I haven't even seen that tub. I don't even know. And she goes, I don't even know if it's big enough. He goes, but it could be. She goes, I don't know. I haven't been in the house yet. Hilarious.
That would have to be a jacuzzi size tub because he's all.
He's huge.
You know?
He's a huge guy.
He's big. And when he came out with that white jumpsuit on, he's like the Michelin man. Like, ooh, like I got to move this muscle so this muscle can move. And he's a lot.
You're right. He did look like the Michelin man. That's a good call. He says when he was out before, he totally took his freedom for granted. He's never going to do that again. He says, he's on parole until March 8th of 2026, which I have to assume this means maybe this is March 8th of 2024 that he got out. Maybe he's on 2 years. And his main rule is just to check in. Otherwise, he can just do whatever he wants. He just has to check in. And
he
doesn't know
go back to prison.
I don't know the other rules. I can do whatever I want otherwise. And she's like, I don't think he understands how that works. So they walk into a restaurant called Poor Richard's to have a meal. And he's with his sister and the niece and nephew. And he says, I understand like what they say, like you got to adapt to society. Like I'm just trying to eat a meal, but all of this is like freaking me out. And I feel like, when I was in prison, I'd watch people on TV eating at restaurants. Like I feel like I jumped into the TV screen. Like it has to be so surreal. It really does.
And they always get caught up on the damn menu. That is like the first thing that really like causes them anxiety. It's just reading a menu at a restaurant. All the choices just freaks them out.
Yeah, it's just like, give me some food. Like I'm just used to you handing me food and then I eat it, That's
why they always usually order either a hamburger, a steak, or chicken.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't know what's good.
I don't know. Yeah.
He says, I do know people that have done so much time that when they get out, they are so paranoid and have anxiety. And I'm just sitting here trying to be cool, but like, I know I get it now. Like I get it.
Yeah.
And his sister says, no, I do not think he is going to work out with Shonta. No, I do not. But here we are. Here we are. So Shonta says about checking in with the PO and he goes, oh yeah, I forgot to get that phone number. She goes, you forgot to get the phone number of your PO? And he goes, yeah, I've got it somewhere in those papers. I don't know. Parole, it's kind of a joke. I don't really actually have to check in. It doesn't really matter what I do as long as I don't break the law. And she's like,
do they not explain? Before they leave prison, do they not explain to them how probation, parole, or whatever they're on, how it works?
I think somebody just told him, like, as long as you check in, you're good. They don't care what else you do. And so he's going with that.
So he got that advice from someone who's in prison.
Right. Probably for a parole violation. Mm-hmm.
Probably so. Yep.
So True says goodbye to his sister and the kids, and Shonta gives him his new clothes, and he goes to change. And she says, yeah, the clothes and the jewelry I got for him costs like $2,500. He's got great taste. I'm like, he's been in prison. He doesn't get to choose. Get him some Target clothes.
Where's he going? And where's he going? Not to the probation office because he thinks he doesn't have to go there. Like, and why the jewelry?
Why does he need jewelry?
They all get them jewelry. They all
He's got jewelry in those confessionals, like big chains.
Yeah. Like, you don't need that.
So in the car, he says, you're going to need to put it on me now. You're going to need to put it on me. And I hope you haven't been masturbating. Because, I haven't masturbated for like a week. And she's like, oh my God, stop.
Does he not get that she's kind of prudish?
I think she just definitely doesn't mind talking to him about it, but doesn't want it on camera.
I guess.
And so he goes, all right, let's do this. We got it. I'm going to Google right now. I'm going to look up on my phone, like how to find a sex shop. Let's find a sex shop. And I'm the same way. I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you about our sex on camera. And I definitely do not want to go with you who have barely even kissed to a sex shop.
And what the fuck does he even know about a sex shop? He's been in prison since he was 17 or 18.
He doesn't know anything. That's why he wants to see it.
Well, go
He's heard
see
about
it. You
them.
don't have to buy shit.
So they walk in and there's this kind of elderly white lady in there. And he's like, hey, how are you? Listen, I need to get something for her. And also, I just got out of prison. So I can't wait to look around the store.
Yeah. It's like a field trip.
Yes, it is. And the lady in there is like, all right, here's a new thing. This is like some edible powder that you can sprinkle on the body. So he like takes it and he goes, nah, no. And she goes, here's this rose vibrator thing. And here's this tickler. Here's a whip. Here's a duster. Here's all this stuff.
What the fuck is a duster?
He tells us his body count. He's 31. He's 31. 22 women is a lot when you're that young.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's a big number.
Prison,
not judging or anything like that.
It's a big number for being in prison for the last 13 years.
For a long time. Like, you were getting busy, like, a lot.
In prison, the nurses and the COs, they really want to see it. So they just come by and ask to see it. I
believe that 100%. Look at all the COs that end up getting pregnant by a prisoner.
Right. Or they help them escape or whatever.
Escape. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he says, Shonta is shy and she doesn't really know how to express her sexuality, but inside she's a freak and y'all don't know what I know. That's what I think.
Then they've had phone sex and stuff like that. So she's camera shy.
Yeah. So in the talking head, she goes, I'm not that sexually experienced. And also I'm super stressed about money. Like everything we do costs money. And no, he has no idea that I've lost my job.
Well, I think this is a conversation they need to have instead of spending $200 at a sex shop for shit she's not going to even use.
Doesn't she have like 3 or 4 kids?
And grandkids.
So she's had some sex in her life. She's not that inexperienced.
But we don't know if it's like the same guy or different guys or.
Well, okay. If it's different guys, then she's.
So let's say 3.
Okay.
Let's just say 3 because for the 3 kids, but we know it's probably more than that. But I think she feels like he's very sexually experienced. Maybe she's not sexually adventurous.
Maybe. So in the car, he says, are you going to say harder, daddy, to me? And she goes, no, I will. No. Mm-mm. So they go to this Airbnb and he is trying to grasp the concept of an Airbnb. He's like, wait a minute. This is somebody's house that they bought just to rent out. And she goes, yeah. And he goes, there's 3 bedrooms in here. And they're going around like, this one's too soft. Like, they're like the 3 bears. This one's too soft. They are. This one's too hard. We got to find one that's just right.
Yeah.
And the talking head, she goes, it's wild being with him. It's like he's in awe with just the simple stuff. Like he's like almost like an alien. She says, I'm in for a ride with this man. Like he doesn't know anything.
Well, why does she get the Airbnb for 7 days? And
how can she afford that? I don't know.
Yeah. And what about your kids at home? We know some of those kids are still in school.
Yeah, but last time she left, she was just like, okay, you take care of your brother and the grandkids. I'll be back in a couple of days. Yeah.
But it was like a turnaround trip almost. This is 7 days.
7 days. Yeah. So she says this 7 days is just a dry run for them so they can see, how they're going to be and, have to go home where the kids are and everything.
Yeah.
So he gets all the sex toys out and he says, I'm going to hurt it tonight. She's like, okay.
Oh my
and
gosh.
She says, he knows I'm not that experienced and I haven't had sex in 4 or 5 years and I'm very nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I get it.
So he picks her up and takes her into the bathroom and we hear some bathroom sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it says 8 a.m. And she says, last night we had sex. We talked. We had a great night. But now he's just gone. It's pretty quick if he's already gone. It's pretty quick.
So this happened last season with Renika.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Renika. Oh,
I can't remember the guy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Their first night as she woke up, he was just gone.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing happened. Yeah. One night. Yeah. And so next week on Love After Lockup, season 5F, episode 407.
G.
With a G. Mm-hmm. Kim sees Joey come out of prison.
Okay.
Zeruiah and her family are still waiting on Troy. Letitia has invited some of her husband, Keith. She's invited some of Keith's family over, and she says, she likes everybody in his family except for, we don't see who, but somebody she don't like.
Oh boy.
And guess what? I bet they don't like you either.
Probably. I'm really bet a bunch of his family members don't like her.
Except for Aunt Marcia. She's there.
Oh, she loves her. Oh, yeah.
Hope says to Arthur, I feel like all of that was a lie. And so they're in a bed somewhere. It seems to be just like a bed in the middle of the floor, in the middle of a room with like nothing on the walls. But they're in this bed, not in the truck. And she says, I feel like all of this was a lie. And he goes, yeah, okay, I fucked up. So do you mean when you got that tattoo in the middle of your forehead or what?
It could be so many things with him.
So many things. And then we end with Shonta saying, I don't even know where this man is. And then she asked the production to take her microphone off.
Yeah, we don't. So usually we see whenever they get out of prison, if the person that they're dating gives them a cell phone. In this case, we didn't see if she gave True a cell phone or not. So how did he go anywhere?
He had that cell phone on in the car when he was searching up sex
shops. He did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But he doesn't know how to Uber. Like, he would actually have to call someone to come and pick him up.
I'm sure he's got a lot of numbers on standby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
At the very least, he could call his sister. He could call his sister.
He needs to be calling the fucking probation officer. That is like the only phone call he should be making right now.
He doesn't have the number. He doesn't have the number.
That's the craziest shit, I tell you.
All right, everybody. That's the end of Love After Lockup. And remember, Wednesday, Pink Shade Prime, $10 level, Keisha and I are going to be covering Love is Blind UK. And on the $10 level, Pink Shade Prime, I am covering Forbidden Love with Kimberly. And this week I have Jodine Weber, former FBI agent, talking Bravo with me. So there's a lot going on this week, and I'm at the beach. Wi-Fi is spotty, so if the sound is not great, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I'm baby sister in the corner. I put myself in a corner with a bunch of pillows, and it's spotty, but I'm doing it. I'm trying.
She's in an outhouse, guys. If only you could see it. It's a total. It's like they painted the outhouse for her so she could record for the day.
It does look like an outhouse, I know, but it's just the corner of this bedroom. The bedroom is all shiplap, and so it's a beachy vibe. We got a big tropical storm heading our way on Wednesday. So good thing I don't have any recordings Wednesday, because I highly doubt I'm gonna have Wi-Fi or power. Yeah.
Woo, scary.
Island life is fun. Okay, everybody follow Keisha, the Libra Lounge with Keisha. Follow her podcast wherever you get podcasts, and please give Keisha, the Libra Lounge with Keisha, a follow on Instagram, and me too. At Pink Shade Pod.
New episode is out right now.
Oh, new episode of the Libra Lounge Keisha out today on Monday, Mugshot Monday. All
rated
right, I'll talk
R.
to you.
R.
Rated R. All right, I'll talk to you later, Keisha.
Yeah. Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.